Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another Big Data London webinar. Today, we're looking at enabling quality customer experience. So I'm Andy Steep, Content Director of Big Data London. I'm joined today by Neil Brookman from Treasure Data. Hi, Neil.
Hi, Andy.
So these sessions are designed to be interactive. Please ask as many questions as you like. You can do that using the box just under the video here, and we'll endeavour to answer as many as we possibly can at the end of the session, where we've allocated a little bit of time for Q&A. If you run into any problems with the stream, you shouldn't, but just in case, just tap refresh in the browser and you'll jump straight back in. However, without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to our featured presenter today. Over to you, Neil.
Excellent. Thanks, Andy. So hopefully you can see my slides. I've just started sharing. So firstly, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for all joining. As Andy said, my name is Neil Brookman, and I am Director of Solution Engineering for Treasure Data. And today I'm going to be talking about spotting data blind spots, the key to enabling a quality customer experience that generates loyalty. So going straight into it, what exactly is a data blind spot? As digital transformation expands the amount of information available, businesses must act now to eliminate silos and create effective channels of communication, or they risk missing out on critical intelligence about their customers and operations. Businesses have access to increasingly comprehensive insights from an ever-growing data pool spanning the entire organization. However, without access to all of the available data, it's impossible to have a truly holistic view of customers. If the marketing function isn't connected to customer service, what's stopping it from sending promotional offers to a customer who is mid-complaint? Likewise, the product team is missing out on valuable insights into the features that are most important for customers if feedback isn't passed on from sales. The pandemic pulled down walls and brought different stakeholders together to solve problems, but many businesses are at risk of reverting back to previous practices as we emerge from it. So let's have a look at an example of what data blind spots can cause. So if we have a look at these two people, they look exactly the same with the information we have. And if this is the only information we have, we will treat them exactly the same. However, person one is actually Prince Charles and person two is Ozzy Osbourne. So treating these two people in the same way is not going to be effective. So you need to remove the data blind spots and complete the picture. And before we look at the impact of customer experience on loyalty, let's first focus on the build-up to where we are today. As most of you know, the virus has catalyzed digital adoption over the last 2 years. And this has resulted in COVID unlocking a new era, the age of the digital customer. Digital customers are expecting digitized, appified interactions and to be interconnected everywhere they are at all times. Digital customers expect more, and they expect it now. They want more digital choices, more responsibility to safeguard my data and to be transparent, and more human-like connection, interconnected. It's me regardless of where, how, or who I speak with. The good news is that with all of this change, it's all trackable and traceable. This binary breadcrumb trail through the forest of digital has been left for us to follow and make sense of. We need to ingest consumer data from all sources, on and offline and cross-device, to create a rich picture of who they are and understand how to interact with them. Essentially, we need to store and translate millions of consumer touchpoints to help us to understand individual buyers' behaviors and journeys. This means that as a large enterprise organization with masses of information flowing through your business every second, you need to take command of this data and create better customer experience that make for happier customers and a more profitable business. You need to maintain relevance in the connected age. The good news is that it can be harnessed and converted into a really strong customer experience. And our customers know we have this data. They've been online a lot more in the last 24 months than they ever have, and so expectations are high. So high, in fact, that I believe there's a new layer to the value model. This data doesn't come easily. Consumers are so savvy with their data that it feels like there is a new element to the value exchange, data. It used to be, Is this brand worth my time and money? Does this interaction provide enough value in some way that it's worth my time and money? Well, now we can add data to that equation, because in return for the data, our consumers are expecting more than they have done in the past. They know what is possible with data and how it can be used well. You might not think it, but we are all competitors with Amazon, Apple, Google. Think of their interactions with these brands and the experience they have. That is the bar for expectations. The value exchange is now, am I getting the relevance I expect from this brand in return for the data they hold on me? Life is more digital. There is more data available to help us get it right. Our customers know this and have high expectations of the trade in time, money, and data. And businesses have been forced to take a giant leap forward in their digital transformation, many making what normally amount to 5 to 10 years of progress in just a few months. Chaotic customer journeys that cross channels, devices, online and in person, even at the same time. Increasing security, privacy, and data governance requirements, limiting usage and availability of data. Siloed technologies that are optimizing within the limited boundaries of that technology, creating a disjointed and dissatisfying experience for everyone. Brands have to live or die by the experience of their customers. Is the customer experience good enough to get brand loyalty? Are they going to leave 5-star reviews? Will they be brand advocates on social media? So what is loyalty and what does it really mean? Customer loyalty is an ongoing positive relationship between a customer and a business. It's what drives repeat purchases and prompts existing customers to choose your company over a competitor offering similar benefits. Loyalty is a result of multiple positive interactions that build up a feeling of trust over time. Not every interaction has to be perfect. Customer loyalty can withstand a few negatives, although too many will break down the strength of the connection. One way to look at loyalty is in the context of brand. People are loyal to a brand because they associate it with positive experiences, such as great customer service, feeling connected to brand values and ideals, or consistently high product quality. So why is customer loyalty important? There are a lot of stats circulating around, but most experts agree that the effort of keeping a customer is substantially less than the effort of acquiring a new one. This alone is a good reason to prioritize customer relationships and look at ways of nurturing them through your customer experience, marketing, and customer loyalty programs. But beyond reaching for their credit cards, loyal customers can boost your business in other ways. Whether you think of them as brand champions, net promoters, or heroes of word of mouth marketing, your happy customers all have the potential to bring more business to your door. That may be by sharing their experiences on social media, leaving positive reviews, or simply telling their friends and family. Finally, many businesses report that loyal customers tend to spend more and be less sensitive on price when they shop with the brand they have loyalty towards. And when there's a high customer satisfaction, you can expect a lighter load on your support and customer service teams too. So what are the key drivers of loyalty? So firstly, great customer service. They may love your product or service, but if your customers don't feel valued and respected when they do business with you, they're unlikely to form a positive emotional connection to your brand. Certainly, customers appreciate friendly and pleasant service when they make a purchase. A good experience in retail goes a long way, but what's often more powerful is how you receive feedback and what you do with it when you get it. Customers who feel listened to and looked after when something goes wrong, or if they need support after a purchase, are likely to have a positive emotion towards you in the future, and to tell others good things instead of bad, whether that's via social media or face-to-face. Increased customer communication and customer satisfaction should follow. Secondly, a long-term strategy, not a short-term reaction. Why do customers leave companies they've been loyal to? Overwhelmingly, it's because they don't feel the company cares about them. In the short term, it's relatively easy to please most types of customer with introductory discounts and loyalty perks. They'll probably appreciate their good luck and come back for more. But what about customers who have been loyal for longer? Too often, businesses take these kinds of customers for granted, assuming that their attachment to the brand is strong enough to be self-sustaining. In fact, all customers need to feel cared about in order to stay loyal. And what's more, the part of your customer base that's been with you over the long haul will expect their status to make them more valuable, not less. With a long-term customer retention strategy, you can proactively improve the experience for every segment within your customer base and make them all feel suitably valued. Thirdly, is a true understanding of the customer journey. Traditionally, businesses have measured success in terms of sales, but as our understanding of customer experience becomes more sophisticated, we can see that each purchase is part of a larger picture, the customer journey. This includes your marketing and customer-focused advertising, your retail experience, whether online or offline, reviews about your products and those of your competitors, and what happens after a specific customer receives their product or service. Together, all these touch points have an influence on customer loyalty, and by considering the journey as a whole, you can target your efforts on the places they'll have most effect. That might mean improving response times, ironing out pain points in your website or booking engine, or simply managing customer expectations by clearly communicating the way you work. And lastly, the employee experience. So what does employee experience have to do with customers? It's more than you might think. It can actually be a strong driver of loyalty. If we take Starbucks, for instance, where 87% of customer affinity for the brand is driven by how it treats its employees, that stat alone indicates that positive employee experience can be highly profitable, as well as making your workplace a nicer environment. Customers warm towards brands who treat their people well, but more importantly, engaged employees who are in part of a company culture that values them are much more likely to extend the same positive treatment towards customers. Giving staff autonomy, respect, a good work-life balance, and pay that they feel is fair for the work they do will all feed into your customer loyalty outcomes. The key to staying competitive and brand loyalty is customer centricity, and that's both now and in the future. It is to truly know and understand your customers, and then to use that knowledge to build business strategies and personalize every single interaction so that each customer feels like they are the one and only. And I'm not talking about Chesney Hawks. This customer experience is in fact the aggregation of numerous individual customer experiences across numerous channels. But the increase in anonymity and silos shattered customer centricity. And there is a high risk to privacy and data breaches when data from many sources is pulled together. Businesses are only as strong as their weakest link. Any one experience across marketing, sales, or service can deter the digital customer. Winners reclaim customer centricity in the age of the digital customer by connecting all of the data sources from within the business. Then you can make predictions about the customer to create omni-channel value and power exceptional customer experiences. So why is understanding customer touchpoints important? It's impossible to improve the customer experience if you don't know the moments that they go through to make that experience. These moments, the touch points in which the customer interacts with the brand, define the experience that customers have. Multiple touch points create a journey. If brands are to successfully influence the customer to buy, renew, or recommend to a family, friend, or co-worker, then the experience in the moments that matter need to meet their needs. By knowing and understanding how the customer feels during these touch points, brands can focus on improving certain and often small aspects of the experience, rather than having to rethink the journey as a whole. This helps brands to create a tailored approach instead of having to adopt a one-size-fits-all mindset. When you put the customer at the center of everything you do, all business functions come together to create continuous experiences that deliver value to the digital customers wherever they are. And this goes across sales, marketing, service, and all other functions. The world has become more digitalized. Consumers have an accessibility to brands in a way they did not previously exist. But organizations don't have the same access to customers. There are much less real interactions. If brands could balance digital transactions with real experiences, those days are gone. Digital has to be experimental, as it's the only experience that matters. And the only way to get to that level of closeness is with data, using every bit of data to power customer centricity across the organizations. 5 years ago, that would not have posed a challenge. It was the digital wild, wild west, and every piece of data collected could be harvested to influence and manipulate customers. That has forever changed. Users expect brands to meet them on their own terms, to use technology for their betterment, not for brand profit. Privacy and consent are masking even further your ability to see the customer. Privacy is now a virtue. With that in mind, many CMOs, CDOs, and CIOs I speak with are struggling with customer centricity and their ability to create customer experiences to outdo customer expectations and deliver greatness for each customer. This is where customer centricity as a strategy meets operations. So we've looked at why loyalty is important for your business now more than ever. We understand that customer experience and focusing on our customers is critical in ensuring and increasing loyalty from our customers. We also know the dangers of data blind spots, that if we cannot connect or collect these missing pieces of information from within our businesses and help us understand our customers, we risk missing out on providing them an incredible customer experience that will keep them coming back time and time again. So what is the key to ensuring we minimize these data blind spots and maximize our opportunities to connect with our customers? How can we reduce the danger posed by these blind spots within our business? If you're like many brands, you've assembled a stack full of the best of breed engagement tools, all with their own data and insight engines that promise to engage your customers and make them feel like the one and only. The new reality of virtual digital explosion is forever limiting the access you have to your customers. Using the same channel approximation of the user is keeping you from achieving customer centricity. Your understanding of the customer is tunnel visioned within every application, every channel, every geography, and every business function. Marketing, service, and sales teams are all optimizing these channels for a specific engagement or conversation and is measured solely on that conversion, creating a tunneled vision. As you collect more data, silos have gotten bigger. In 2021, nearly every part of the customer journey became digital or assisted by the data gathered on multiple channels. However, answers to important business questions are quite often locked away in fragmented data. You have different identifiers in each system, and no way to join all of this data together to give you that true 360-degree view of your customers and to eliminate those silos. Wouldn't it be better if you could join all of the systems together, removing fragmented data and producing a centralized view of each customer? And this is where a CDP can help, or a customer data platform. However, you're probably sitting there thinking that you have tools to do this already. You have a CRM, you may have a DMP. So why is a CDP needed? So all three tools have their own functions and use cases in the marketing ecosystem, and there can be some overlap. All three have been designed to improve customer experience and that user segmentation. So to simplify, a CRM is where your sales, service, or marketing teams typically manage customers and they update data directly. A DMP tracks third-party behavior, stores data for a short period of time, and helps with lookalike modeling and targeted ads. Whereas a CDP pulls in data from all of your sources to create a true single view of customer, stores data as long as you need, that's both first, second, and third-party data and PII, but you wouldn't typically update data directly in a CDP. It is used to pull data from other systems. As I said, all three tools are designed to improve customer experience and segmentation, and can work well together. So true enterprise CDPs can store data from any channel, whether it's web, mobile, social, email, CRM, etc. It includes both online and offline channels, and both anonymous and known users. Also retrieving and storing data from third-party systems, something like Axiom and Tapad, that can be used to enrich the profile. And more importantly, enterprise CDPs can store data in any format, so you don't have to do any manipulation to the data before you send it to the CDP. All of this data is then stored in the CDP, and identity resolution is used to create a true 360-degree profile for each and every customer. And enterprise CDPs will usually store 5 different types of data. Profile data for personalization. For example, a person's name or email address that you would use to send to your email tool. Secondly, profile data that's used for segmentation. For example, find all gold status loyalty members or people within 60 miles of a specific location. Then we have data for security. For example, only send users that are given consent for email to the email tool to ensure you have that data governance. Then we have behavioral data. For example, find me all people that have been in store at least 3 times in the last 90 days, have been active on the website, and haven't made a purchase online or offline in the last month. And then lastly, we have data for machine learning. For example, data that helps us calculate a lifetime value, data to help calculate predicted lifetime value, churn scores, or lookalike modeling. More data is more opportunity. The benefit of data gravity is that it brings together real, live, data-driven power. It applies best-in-class consents and governance practices and couples data with insights that combine everything you know about your customers. It also combines it with AI and machine learning to help your teams get on the same page and make the best decisions for each and every customer throughout their journey. It creates the highest level of accuracy in predicting what's great for the customer. We can't assume that all teams and all systems interface with the one customer foundation with the same rules and with the same purpose. But what we see is that with a myriad of different business functions operating with different various consent levels, privacy regulations, content types, contact strategies, and experiences. To orchestrate those different needs by teams and system, the One Customer Foundation powers purposeful engagements that perform. Let's look at how powerful activations can drive great customer experience. So in the call center, a good experience is being able to get through to a person within reasonable time. And a great experience is moving from, "Hi sir, how can I help you?" to providing real value. So think of a pet care provider. I'm a pet owner. Buster is my Labrador, and we live in the London area. A great experience is being greeted with, "Hi Neil, how are you and Buster doing? I see that ticks are very active in your area and you're looking to protect Buster from ticks. We can help you with that." This type of response is powered by purposeful activation, where all of the information about me is consolidated in the background and enhanced with metadata about pet health. Then the service rep is armed with sophistication and simplicity and is presented with only the knowledge that is most relevant to making this engagement great and providing a next best action. The marketing team has so many channels to juggle. They use the One Customer Foundation as a way to get to know the customers, to start thinking about people, not devices or channels. For example, differentiate between buyers who just started the journey and those who are almost decided, as they are quite different in character. And the first require advertisements to nurture them, while the latter require content strategy to take the last step to conversion. Presenting both with the same advertising and content will be very inefficient. So the danger of data blind spots. We touched on this at the start of the session, and I just wanted to reiterate. As digital transformation provides us with more data on our customers, businesses must pull this data together into a single view of the customer and their journey with our brand, or risk missing out on critical intelligence about their customers and operations. Businesses have access to increasingly comprehensive insights from an ever-growing data pool spanning the entire organization. But organizational silos are creating blind spots that are inefficient at best and could cause reputation damage if left unaddressed. The pandemic pulled down walls and brought different stakeholders together to solve problems, but many businesses are at risk of reverting back to previous practices as we emerge from it. Communication and collaboration is key to unlock insights hidden behind these data blind spots. Without access to all available data, it's impossible to have a truly holistic view of customers and provide the service or product they expect. Businesses can double the data's value by closing the loop. Our recent research found that 4 in 10, so it's 39% of leaders, say they don't feel confident interpreting and using data to make informed decisions, while 41% believe they don't have the right tools in place to properly interpret and use data in decisions. C-suite executives listed internal knowledge, 91%, customer data, 89%, and sales data, 87%, as the most important for day-to-day business critical decisions. Yet despite this, only around half of respondents actually collect good quality data in these areas and have the skills to use it effectively, and a significant proportion collect the data but do not have the skills to interpret it. 57% of respondents said they collect and use internal data effectively, while 27% said they collect it but don't have the skills to use it. 55% of respondents said they collect and use customer data effectively, while 29% said they collect it but don't have the skills to use it. Even more worryingly, 16% of respondents do not collect internal data or customer data, and 17% of responses do not collect sales data at all. This is causing unnecessary data blind spots within businesses and impacting the efficiency of decisions being made, something which has already been weakened due to the pandemic. So using the call center example, again, a lot of businesses don't connect their call center and its data with the rest of their business, preferring to treat them as two separate entities. What data blind spots are avoided if we connect this powerhouse of behavioral insights into our customer data ecosystem, and what are the benefits of doing so? We can provide that single view of customer to the contact center agent and provide real-time access so they know exactly what has happened right up to the second that they're calling. We can improve satisfaction with routing based on customer categories. We know who's calling and we can intelligently route that across things like GDPR if somebody is calling from Europe. We can reduce the time to resolution. We can provide the information to hand, provide that next best action, and that reduces cost and improves the customer satisfaction. We can help prevent churn because we have all of the information available to hand and that next best action. Also increasing revenue and increasing that first contact resolution rates. All of that helps improve the quality of the service, the customer experience, and improves the benefit to the business. And the key is being able to realize the potential of your data. And for me, this is three things. Firstly, your data needs to be collected from all sources across your business, not just some. It needs to be contactable and campaignable. It needs to be deduped to the point of a single unified record so that it can be analyzed or mined to generate accurate insights. And it needs to be connected to your other MarTech to enable the activities. And a CDP will do this for you and will enable these 5 core points that will enhance your business's ability to be more relevant to customers. It will connect the customer to view their customer journey from unknown to known customer. This is quite a powerful view to have. will enable real-time flow of data throughout the business, which increases your ability to be relevant and timely. Segment data in real time based on actual behaviors, which again increases relevance and capitalizes on behaviors your customers are showing. Use all the data provided to provide a connected view of your customer. And connect your channels to enable accurate and timely messaging for your customer via campaigns. These can be real time through any channel. So there are benefits to your customers and prospects in terms of being more relevant and driving loyalty, which in turn benefits your business revenue-wise. Add to this accurate and real-time data flowing throughout your business, deeper insights and accurate forecasting and reporting across all channels. This is in essence is why a CDP is a missing piece in your MarTech puzzle. Use every bit of data to provide the best experience for each and every customer, treating each one as an individual and removing data blind spots. So that's the end of my slides. Thank you all for listening, and we can now have a bit of time on some questions.
Perfect. Thanks, Neil. And yeah, thanks for the presentation. I particularly enjoyed the bit about Prince Charles and Ozzy Osbourne. Although there may be more similarities than we know. I don't know either of them personally. I was just going to ask a very open-ended question first, because I mean, imagine that a lot of people who are watching are interested in the technology, etc., and customer data platforms. For anyone who hasn't, isn't using that sort of technology, but does have, CRM systems and other ways of categorizing their data, what's the best steps to start doing this? I mean, who do they need? What do they need? What do they need to start thinking about?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as with every project, we always say to sort of not try to boil the ocean. People quite often want to get everything done, so they'll look at all of their issues and just sort of jump in two-footed. So the best thing is to look at the key use cases that you have. Where are the issues? And then start to look at each of those individually to see which one is going to provide the biggest return on investment. So what's the sort of easiest to implement versus the bigger return? And once you have those initial use cases, you can start small. So if the initial is to connect the contact center, then connect the contact center with the relevant channels. You don't have to do a big bang approach. If your first use case is to increase your personalization across your email channel, then pull in the relevant channels, whether it's web, mobile, offline, and then your email channel. So a CDP can really sort of fit into the ecosystem and just start with that less is more. Start doing things and then over time add more and more and start to get more benefit over time.
Perfect. I was going to ask for another use case as well, if I may. Obviously, I know you work with treasure data and you're dealing with customers a lot recently. Is there anything, if you can't mention the name, a company, is there any good examples of how people have done some fine work with this over the last couple of years in the pandemic?
Definitely. So one I really like as a really sort of out of the sort of off the wall way of using a CDP is one of our retailers in the US. So they're pulling all of the data directly from in-store. So they're getting that real-time data directly from point of sale. So they're able to see exactly what products people are buying. That all goes into the CDP, and they're then enriching that data with live weather feeds. And they're using data science and machine learning to make predictions on what stock they need to send to what store based on the weather feed, past behavior, and others. And they're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars from not having to ship stock between stores. So it's not something you would sort of think of a CDP, but where the CDP is getting all of that behavioral data at a customer level, which you can then aggregate at things like household level or at product level to then give you some intelligence. So I really like that example of just thinking outside the box to do something pretty clever.
Yeah, cool. I was going to go back to the survey results just quickly. The 41% of people who haven't got the confidence in their data, etc., to make decisions. Do you think that's fair? Do you think they're maybe overly pessimistic, or is it only 41% of people kind of ready for this, or do 59% of people need to do things differently to get ready for this, or is it a knowledge gap in terms of that
Yeah,
answer?
I'd say a bit of everything. I mean, we did survey 500 people, so it was quite a big set of people, and it's the same whenever as a business, and over the last sort of 15 years I've been in Martech, every customer you speak to says, oh, we're way worse than anyone you've ever dealt with before. And the reality is they're all the same. Everyone has the same problems. They all think that they're in a much worse position. So that's where people, as they respond to surveys, they're being sort of more honest. So it's difficult to say, but I really, the tools is an issue, and where people have sort of invested over the years, they've sort of bought DMP, they bought CRM, and now there's sort of new technology coming in, and it's sort of seeing exactly sort of what are you looking to do with that, what are the outcomes, and is it going to benefit my business? And sort of COVID and lockdown is causing budget constraints as well. So it's that challenge of can we invest in another technology? But for me, it's if you don't invest in that technology, then you may not be here in another year. So it's sort of speculate to accumulate and to get that return on investment. But it's, as I say, just thinking of things logically. What technology do we have in the stack right now, and how will something like a CDP enrich that?
Yeah, perfect. And just thinking for some of the sort of smaller guys who might be watching this, in terms of, you mentioned, contact centers, etc., like, and I imagine most large companies with large amount of customers would have a contact center for sure. For smaller guys dealing with e-commerce and not not with a structured kind of contact center, is this something they can leverage? Is this something they can make use of and gain an advantage with?
Definitely, it's providing that visibility, and even a small business that's using something like Shopify as the channel, and just having information to hand, and looking at things like people's content affinity to help with cross-sell and upsell, and then having that available if someone is ringing the contact center. If you've got somebody leaving a telephone number as part of a purchase, then you can see who they are when they're ringing and have their sort of purchase information to have the agents ready, rather than sort of fumbling through or providing a poor customer experience. So really, customers of any size can leverage technology to give them the insights and intelligence, and just step it up a gear and differentiate themselves.
Yeah, and as you correctly said, I mean, most of these people unwittingly or wittingly are competing with web giants like Amazon and Google and things like that, and the perception is that this is something that people expect now, especially with COVID, I suppose.
Definitely.
I'm going to end with a question about the sort of future of this kind of technology. Obviously, I imagine there's been a huge raft of innovation over the last couple of years. With the change of the ways everyone working. You mentioned it's super important that people don't slip back to those bad habits, having maybe become a little bit enlightened. What are you excited about in the next couple of years, which you can see this this sort of technology enabling? I mean, what will companies be able to do in a short amount of time with this sort of thing?
Yeah, so for me, it's like the big challenge for companies is how do you manage all of this data at scale? And before customer data platforms existed, just not having that visibility, and that's all for customer experience. And we're all consumers. And for me, I had an idea several years ago, sort of being frustrated in pubs when you're sort of standing at the bar and the person that's waving the £50 note, or the person that's the most attractive, gets served first. And like, why can't I just put an order in and they bring it to me? Which is exactly what COVID has done now. And we've got all of these restaurants and pubs and other companies that have now gone digital, order at your table. But how many are actually tracking that behavioral data. How many are seeing, like, Neil has gone to the pub and he orders the same drink. So when I'm going into the app, it can start to recommend and help me out with my experience, rather than me having to scroll through to find the drink section, then find the rum section, then find this. It knows me and starts to treat me as a known person. But it's being able to do that across sort of millions of consumers and billions of touch points. But the machines are getting more powerful, and say CDP is giving you that intelligence and also starting to predict as well. So using things like geo-fencing. If you've got a mobile app, so using the pub example again, somebody like a Green King, you download the app, they can track your location. So if I'm then sort of within a particular pub, then they can start to sort of push to me to be proactive. So that's a bit that really excites me, just sort of stepping it up and bringing the online and offline together. Same with a retailer. As soon as I walk into a store, sort of knowing who I'm there. So if I'm using like Argos as an example, I go in store, I've done a reservation, I have to go to a machine, type in my number and wait. Why can't it just see that I've pulled up out the front and somebody bring out to me? So that technology is all there now, and it's companies starting to leverage and take everything to the next level that I'm most excited about.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before we go, I just wanted to highlight a couple of attachments at the bottom of this webinar. There's the upcoming calendar for webinars that are coming. So if any of those particularly fancy, do sign up. We've also got Big Data London channel, YouTube channel. Lots of presentations in there. We actually have Neil's presentation for Big Data London in there. If you want to see some more of Neil this afternoon. So yeah, there's 150 or so videos from Big Data London 2021. Do go in there and see, and make use of that. It's a very good resource. So with that and on that, it's time to bid you farewell. Thank you very much, Neil, for a great presentation, and enjoyed the Q&A. Thank you very much. And we will see you again shortly. So thank you, and bye.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.